guys. All right. Okay. Okay. So just a few updates. So what was talked about in Charleston, um, it was about being an influencer. So Darren Jensen opened up a convention by talking about influencers and what they are, how many we maybe have in our team of those influencers, and why are they so important. But before I start into this, there was another presentation that was so amazing, and that was kind of towards the end of our time there, that Daniel Tyler, I think that's his name, he's a Pro 10, he was sharing about our comp plan. And he loves talking about the comp plan and all of that, and like he says that he knows that there's not that many people, just please don't make a noise, that there's not that many people that are in here to make money and that are interested in just making money, but he was also talking about trends, and comparing some of the numbers here in the US. And I know that these numbers are very similar where you're coming from as well. So he was talking about our Social Security, that everyone accumulates now, and they get to retire at the age of 65. Now, we don't know by the time we are that age if that's even going to be there available for us, but right now, our Social Security when we retire is $1,400. So $1,400 is something that we are supposed to be monthly living on. And then if we have, like, if you're lucky, if we had maybe a 401k, and if we don't live too long, maybe we can count on maybe additionally $500-600 on top of that. So that means like living for the rest of our lives with $2,000. So that's just if we don't get sick, if we don't get huge bills. So it's really, really scary. And people right now are not really able to retire. So they're picking up different shifts, they're driving Uber, they're renting their homes. All of that is going on. And I know it's like that in the rest of the world. So who the heck wants to, like, when it's time to retire at 65, keep on working, right? So what comes in mind, we don't want to be talking about income. We don't want to be talking about, like money that can be made. But when you look at it, the way he compares it, in LifeVantage, Pro 5, if you get to level Pro 5, doesn't matter when it's going to be, like if it's going to be in 3 to 5 years, if you're like moving on really, really slow, that's the income that Pro 5 level makes. So imagine that with Pro 5 level that you can build in 3 to 5 years, you can already match that retirement that you're getting at the age of 65. So not even like trying to build your business further than that. That's a great income to have on top of what you're already going to be getting. And that's something that I wanted to start with, just something to think about, like how far you want to take this business. Maybe like you don't see yourself as making 6 figures, being a millionaire, but at least everyone has an option to build this business to a Pro 5 level. Gay and I are now Pro 5. It took us like about 2 years to get to that level. And it just takes consistency. It's not hard. Anyone here can do this, and you can. I bet you can do it faster than the way we did. So Darren started our convention with being an influencer. What is an influencer? So influencer is more than just a leader. He's carrying out our message around the world and impacting lives of millions through our products, through our business. When influencers out there, when they're present, they create action. Like action doesn't get started. People don't go into production without these influencers that are in the teams, those leaders that are always like when they enter the room, action is being created. Teams are motivated. Teams are going and working at the business. So without them, nothing happens. They take initiative. They're not the ones who are always going to be on a call with their upline, who are always going to be complaining and, you know, calling the office and all of that stuff. They take initiative. They learn as they go, and they're resourceful. They know how to find answers to their questions, and if they absolutely can, that's when they're going to reach out. So those are your influencers, and the most importantly, they lead by example. So they're not the ones who are telling you do this, do that, unless they've done it themselves. So the way and he described our influencers and who they are in our company with LifeVantage. There are elite ranks. So influencer begins with the Pro 7 rank. So what do you have to become? You have to become a Pro 7. What they did is they actually did an analysis of all the Pro 7s that are just became Pro 7s in our company, and they kind of measured their results, like how many distributors they have, how long did it take them, how many customers, how many people on subscriptions. So they gathered all of that data to see what are some of the patterns, what are some of the commonalities of a Pro 7. So this is what they said. On average, Pro 7, it took them 22 months on average to get there. Some got there faster, you know, some were like maybe experienced network marketers, got there in 1 month. For some it took 8 months, for some it took 5, 7, 9 years to get to the Pro 7 level, but average, what it took them was 22 months. From the time they joined the company to the time they became Elite Pro 7. Another commonality that they have 22 Pro 3s in their organization. So not directly under them, but in their whole downline, they have 22 Pro 3s. So knowing this, they calculated the number of distributors they have on average and customers they have on average. And they came up with this plan, which is, I think, absolutely amazing. So it really broke down to us what we need to be focusing on, what our monthly goal needs to be if we want to reach Pro 5, if you're not a Pro 5 yet, to reach a Pro 5 within 3 to 5 years, and to reach a Pro 7 within 5 to 7 years. So how does this sound? I was like completely wowed by this. This is the way they ended the convention, and I think we can all do this. So what if in the next 22 months we can all achieve, like in small steps, and really work that plan? Just imagine where we're going to be a year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years from now as a team. So let me share these numbers with you. So if you are a distributor, a Pro 1, Pro 2, this is what your goal is. So they set our goals for until the Kansas convention. So if you're going to Kansas, if you follow this system, if you achieve this in 5 months, they actually have special perks for us. One of them is actually going to the elite reception. So we would be going with the elites to their reception. And this is what we have to do. So in the next 5, 6 months, but I'm going to make this a goal for my business every single month. This is how we should be teaching our new distributors. This is your monthly goal. This is where you're striving to. And we never really had that measured on what do we need. So this is what we need. When you're a distributor, Pro 1 or Pro 2, you need to get yourself to Pro 3. So you have from now, from beginning of February all the way until end of June, to get yourself promoted to Pro 3 level, to get 2 new distributors every month, and get 3 customers every month. So I'm asking, is this doable? Is this difficult? If we really focus our mind on this is what we are trying to get, you know, if it takes talking to 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, you know, and just like really working that plan, we can get there. So it's going to be for a distributor, Pro 1 and Pro 2, to get to Pro 3 with 2 distributors and 3 customers. If you are an existing Pro 3, you need to create 1 more Pro 3 in the next 6 months and get 2 distributors every month and 3 customers every month. If you're an existing Pro 4, 5, or 6, you would have to create a Pro 3 a month plus 2 distributors and 3 customers. So that means like it doesn't have to be like a Pro 3 that is directly under you. It can be anywhere in your organization. So 1 Pro 3 a month. So what do you think? Isn't that a plan amazing? This is the end of the slideshow. I think it's totally achievable and totally doable, and I'm just happy to know that there's now a plan on what are we striving to do. So if you are focused on doing this month after month after month, you know, breaking Pro 3s, getting to Pro 3, breaking Pro 3s, going to get 2 distributors and 3 customers every single month to build to that level. So doesn't matter where our goals are, you know, if it's a Pro 5, if it's a Pro 7, but this is a really solid plan that anyone can do and can teach. So I'm super, super excited. I believe we lost Gay, but that's okay. So that's really all I wanted to share with you. Are you here? I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just put the video off because I'm wandering around getting stuff ready.
Okay, so, oh, I see now, I see everyone. So that's what I wanted to share with you, but I don't want to take up too much of the time. So this is all I wanted to share. I know, Gay, you had Tara Wilson there. Maybe you want to share with us what was what's happening in your area in Australia. In case you have a prospect in Australia, you never know. You might build a team in Australia the way I did. I found Gay in my first month of being in the business, and you know, look at us now. We're going to be visiting each other soon. So
we're working together, built together. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, look, Tara Wilson is amazing, and I'm listening to everything you're saying, and they're really focusing now on us building Pro 3s and Pro 2s underneath you within your team to help rank up. And that's what we need to do. I think a lot of us think that we've got to do it on our own, but we don't. We just need to reach down to people underneath us and try and help them reach their next rank. And definitely creating a plan like you did, Anna, I think is great for people to look towards and head towards.
It wasn't me. It was shared at the convention. That's the plan that we're now taking. It was shared in Team Heart last week as well, if you missed that training, but that's it. So really, really simple. I think it's like when you know where you're going, it's so much easier to focus your mind on what your activity needs to be to get there.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I was saying, Tara, and the meetings in Australia have been a lot about building your Pro 2s and Pro 3s underneath you to help increase your own ranks. Definitely, yeah. So, a lot of focus on movement.
So I also just had a meeting with Vicky and Lisa this morning, actually, and we were just sharing about like our onboarding and how like the way Gay and I launched our business in the beginning is we actually did a launch, and many of us now that are joining, we never initially did that launch where we actually use the third party to introduce the product, to introduce the business without us trying to be expert and know it all and answer all the questions. And that's why we are not seeing that duplication in our teams, because we are not preparing the newest distributor, that we are there for them every step of the way, so we can actually help them launch and get started on that business. Yes, our groups are amazing to get a few customers, but when we first start, we need to have those launches. So, hey, you know, I just started a new business. I'm excited. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but there's going to be a meeting where so-and-so is going to be sharing more information with you. Are you available on Saturday at 5 o'clock? And invite to either online Zoom or at their house, whatever it's more appropriate. But for the first month, for the first initial start of the business, we need to focus on doing those launches again.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there, Anna. When I first started, I set 3 different dates, 3 different days, 3 different times. So basically, no one had an excuse to say that they couldn't come, because they had 3 different dates and times to choose from. And that really set me going. I hit the ground running. I got 2 distributors from it. I did the same with my sister, joined up, and we did the same with her. She did launches straight away. And it's just friends and family, you know, and you feel more comfortable around friends and family, and you can just let them know that you don't care whether they're interested in the product or not, but you want to advise as many people as possible. You want to put the information out there, and you're building your confidence. Can they come along and help you find your feet and build your confidence to do this in front of strangers?
Exactly.
And yes,
and if they know anyone who they can refer to.
Yep. I mean, I had people in my house sitting in front of the television, and I think that was the one you were doing, Anna, and I had people streaming in from the other side of Australia. So I had them from the other side of Australia streaming in on the presentation and in my house at the same time, so we combined it.
Yes, I did like a home meetings in the beginning. I did a Zoom call where Vicky was actually streaming in from the UK, which was like 2 a.m. her time. And I did that for over a year. Like, I was utilizing Vicky or Lisa or Rachel, and they were doing my my launches and my Zoom meetings. So
Yeah.
we are definitely there to help everyone. So I
think it is the key that a lot of people have to do, if they haven't already done it, is to set up a launch and do it.
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to open this up. If anyone has any, I'm going to mute myself actually. If anyone has any questions, and I'm going to stop the recording actually. So like for those of us who are on live, we get to get our questions answered, and maybe we'll get an ideas for our next meeting, what we need to be covering in these monthly meetings. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop the recording, and you can unmute yourself, or I can unmute you if you have a question.